Every company's employees dread a restructuring, but the process can help the business hone in on its most lucrative activities. It's been a while since Elon Musk laid off roughly half of Twitter Inc.'s workforce. His team has begun asking dozens of employees to return. How does that sound? Meanwhile, Mark Zuckerberg's Meta is reportedly preparing to lay off thousands of its roughly 87,000 employees. It's pretty surprising because it will be the first time the company has ever done so. Even companies like Stripe Inc. are making painful job cuts as a result of inflation and a widespread hiring boom that has led to this inflection point for big tech. Meta and Twitter's layoffs are more than a chance to improve their bottom line, but they're also a chance for their leaders to stop focusing so much on unproven services. Hey there and welcome back to Econify. In this video, we're going to talk about the massive layoffs of two of the world's biggest tech firms, Meta and Twitter, and what they mean. If you want to find out, stick around to the end of this video. Yeah, and before I forget, hit the like and subscribe button to get more fantastic content. Alright, let's get a move on. More than $10 billion of Zuckerberg's mega fortune has been poured into developing a unique business centered on virtual reality, the metaverse, which includes a somewhat $1,500 headset that he is pushing, for some reason, for use in the workplace. That's pretty sleek though, considering its features. On the other side, billionaire Musk is charging $8 for the privilege of using the blue verified badge on Twitter and removing it from anyone who doesn't want to pay up. To be honest, many people think both billionaires are wasting time and resources on ideas that they feel are very much unlikely to generate revenue at a time when their respective companies are struggling to make ends meet. For example, Twitter's $1 billion annual interest payments are the result of debt taken on after Musk's acquisition of the firms. The methods this guy proposes to use to generate the required funds now seem illogical. Why do I say so? A total of $38 million would be collected annually even if all 400,000 verified badge holders paid the monthly price. Musk wants more people to buy the badge too, but his selling point is weak. According to Twitter's updated page on Apple Inc.'s App Store, users can now upload longer videos, rise to the top of threads, and experience 50% fewer ads. Although it may seem okay to some folks, it doesn't seem so to many individuals. The most recent layoffs that occurred at Meta happened because the company must compete with larger rivals like TikTok and Snapchat for advertising dollars. In the third quarter, Meta reported a decline in sales, and the company expects to lose even more money as it continues to invest in the metaverse despite Facebook losing daily users for the first time in its 18-year history. It's pretty bleak for this company as they estimate a $10 billion loss this year due to Apple's new privacy policies, which mandate that app developers acquire user consent before collecting and utilizing any personal information. What does this mean for other sectors? Economists warn that a large number of workers in other sectors could be laid off due to the current bout of inflation and rising interest rates, despite the relatively positive job outlook. Layoffs have increased in recent weeks as a result of the Federal Reserve's awareness that it must keep hiking interest rates for a longer period of time that had been projected. What this means is that the current economic and financial crisis is not showing any indications of improving very soon. What's more, companies in the technology sector are now consequently shifting their methods of hiring in order to keep up with customer demand. For folks in HRs, layoffs are a pretty common method of cost-cutting used by a lot of businesses. Now, companies in the technology sector are taking stock of the economy and their own performance, and coming to the conclusion that they must reduce costs to remain competitive. It's also probable that the strengthening of the US currency, the ongoing supply chain issues, and the situation in Ukraine are all contributing factors. Actually, things could be getting worse right now. Why? Amnesty International has demanded that Twitter follow the United Nations Guiding Principles on Business and Human Rights. It also claims that without proper moderation, Twitter and other social media platforms might become a haven for misogyny and bigotry, which will cause users to stop engaging in political discourse. What do we know about the economy now in light of the recent layoffs and the effects of rising interest rates? The tech industry is feeling the brunt of the Federal Reserve's latest interest rate hike of 0.75 percentage points. And companies in the technology sector that have high interest rate exposure, such as those dealing in real estate or automobiles, are going to be impacted particularly hard by the dramatic increase in interest rates. Now, despite the latest positive jobs report, experts are worried about job losses in the technology sector. The tech sector is usually a forerunner in predicting future developments. When these sorts of things happen, such as the current macroeconomic trends, they could have a spillover effect on other sectors. If the Federal Reserve continues to slow the economy in an effort to rein in inflation, as policymakers have signaled is likely, some degree of more economic hardship is inevitable. Similar problems are being experienced by other businesses. A number of online retailers saw a spike in commerce during the outbreak, but that success didn't last. So far, most of the layoffs have been concentrated in the IT sector, but many other industries have also experienced revenue declines and have had to implement cost-cutting measures as a result. For one thing, the retail sector is feeling the effects of the economy's shift, just as the crucial holiday shopping season is about to begin. As a result of predicting lower than expected revenue for the holiday quarter, Amazon has put a stop on new hires this week. FedEx also announced that it would temporarily halt hiring and ground its fleet of aircraft due to demand falling short of expectations. Meanwhile, Walmart, the largest private employer in the United States, has announced it will reduce its hiring of hourly workers over the busy holiday season. Layoffs and hiring freezes, some may argue, might be necessary measures for other businesses as well, particularly if revenue growth is stalling. Several organizations are grappling with decreased income and the need to cut costs, which has led to layoffs even if they have largely been confined to the technology sector so far. And as the key holiday shopping season draws near, the economy is turning at the worst possible time for merchants. The IT sector lost over 900,587 jobs in October, the highest since November 2020, according to the data reported by Bloomberg. The study found that the number of layoffs announced by companies in the United States last month increased by a significant 13% to a total of 33,843 people working for a wide variety of companies. In addition to Twitter and Meta, other tech behemoths have announced they will halt or reduce hiring as a result of rising prices and economic uncertainty. These companies include Apple, Amazon, and Alphabet. Some say that because of the increased dangers facing businesses, they are reducing capital expenditures. So, is this the final chapter for tech unicorns? Social media giants Twitter and Facebook aren't the only ones competing in this space. Many experts also agree that the number of new IT companies is falling. This phenomenon follows the boom of tech industry unicorns. In case you're wondering what that is, just know that if a private company is worth well over $1 billion, it is considered a unicorn enterprise, sometimes called as a unicorn startup. As of October 2022, the estimated global population of unicorns is 1,200. We are seeing a slowing and a rectifying of the enormous growth seen during the endemic years when technology dominated the social lives of a lot of folks. Moreover, that is going to hurt the bottom line and stock value in a sector built on the hope of endless expansion. It's quite sad for the workers who were laid off, and it's bad for consumers because the accuracy of moderation has dropped. There will soon be a period of economic hardship in the tech industry as many large corporations have already frozen hiring and begun reducing their workforces. One could make the case that Twitter needed to streamline operations anyhow, and that the tech industry is maturing by moving away from gimmicks like self-driving vehicles and cryptocurrency and toward the development of goods with real value to consumers. After all, the dot-com crisis from 2 decades ago produced a harsh market crucible that ultimately aided the growth of companies like Amazon and eBay. But in order to weather the next storm, the heads of Twitter and Facebook must cut ties with novel concepts and resist the temptation to cement their legacies as pioneers. For the time being, they should maintain status quo. Pride can cause them to sink. I'm sure you love this video, so I'm going to ask you to share what you think about the video. Of course, the like and subscribe button's right there, just in case you haven't clicked on it. Don't miss the bell notification on this channel so you don't miss any videos like this one.